Hi, welcome. We've had a lot of questions on how to make automated agents, create automations. People are really excited about all the things you can do with MCPs and connecting ChatGPTs via API. So I want to do a quick guide to show you. Now, the great thing is ChatGPT and the other great LLMs in the market are better at teaching you than I am oftentimes. But I'm going to walk you through it step by step real quick and show you one way of doing this. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk to ChatGPT. We're going to define the task we want to do. It'll help us choose the tools, build out the logic. What's really great is there are steps along the way where it tests to make sure it's working. We'll deploy the agent, and we're going to monitor and optimize. Now, I'm going to go through this quickly so you don't have to watch the 30 or 45 minutes it would really take. But let's go ahead and have a quick look. So first, I did a simple request of ChatGPT. I said, how do I create an automated agent in the chat that will take contents of files in a folder on my computer, give me a complete analysis and a summary of the documents, and then email me the results. Give a detailed description on how to do this step by step. And as ChatGPT is wont to do, it replies and says, okay, let me repeat to you what I think you want. We're going to watch a folder on your desktop. We're going to ingest the information inside of it. We're going to send the contents to ChatGPT for analysis, and then we'll email you the results. So then it talks about high level what you're building, a file system, and so on. And so then it gives a great explanation. It says first you have choices between doing something that happens on an automatic schedule, or doing something real time, or doing something that you trigger yourself. Then it tells you you have to create a folder structure. I'll show you that in a moment. And then setting up your environment, it asks you to install Python. Don't be nervous. I'm going to show you real quickly. It's quite easy on how to install Python. You don't have to do much. And the nice thing is then it writes the Python code for you. And then some further things. So it gave me all this great information here. And then it asks questions and says, what do you want to do? Do you want to do automatic or do you want to do whatever? So I said, let's do it option A and make it be a scheduled trigger. So it explains to me again how to make a runnable agent script in Python and so on. So I decided to keep it simple and say, I don't really know how to do this. So my next prompt was, I don't know what to do on step 1A. I act like I am new to this and I don't know Python. So this is great because if you do know, you don't have to do this. But if you don't, it'll literally walk you through it step by step. It says, okay, first let's do it. Let's create a project folder on your desktop. Right click, click on new folder, name it document agent. Open that folder and create subfolders. And so it'll have you create a bunch of subfolders. And then it'll have you create a Python file, agent.py. And so you create a text document in that folder you just created. So you right click, you choose new document, and then you name it agent.py. And I think this is important. When you're saving a file in Notepad, make sure you don't save it as .text. You have to choose all files, and then you call it agent.py. So when you're done with that, then it gives you the Python code. So I'm going to go to the next step here. What are we doing here? First, we're going to be collecting files in a folder on our desktop. Our agent's going to be watching that folder, send it to ChatGPT, then it'll generate a report, and it will email the results to me. So this is a great outcome so far. Okay, so we've got our Python code. It's walking us through it. It's asking us questions along the way. And it's saying run the script. So first it has you do something, open command prompt, type these things. So this is to check and see if you have Python installed. So if you have Python installed, on the Windows key on your computer, you type CMD. It opens the DOS command shell. And then you can just type at the command prompt and type Python. And if you have Python installed, it will tell you Python. So on this computer, I already have Python installed. But I didn't when I first ran this. So what I had to do was I had to install it. Now I'm showing you from a different computer I have connected here. And on this computer, if you type Python, let's see here, okay, Python, you're going to see it thinks about it for a second, and then it opens the Windows store. And it says, oh, we're offering to install the Python code for you. Now, this is on the Windows Store. This is a very common piece of software. You don't need to worry about installing it. So I'm going to go ahead and install Python. And then once you're done, the ChatGPT agent will prompt you a few times to add a few Python libraries, and it says pip. This is basically installing some Python libraries. So once again, you come back to your command prompt, you just paste those things in the command prompt, and it will install the libraries for you. So this says it's now been installed. So if I close this, and if I type Python again, Python, now it tells me what version Python I have. It gives me some other offers as well if I want to upgrade it or whatever, but I don't need to do that right now. So to install that PIP file, we just want to come to our command prompt here, open a command window, and just at the C prompt, we're going to go ahead and paste in that prompt. So that the PIP install, I just copied this directly from our ChatGPT right here. So copy the code, I'm now going to paste it. When I hit enter, we will see it install those libraries. Here we go. It's using it. So this is how it installs different packages within Python. So when you see that kind of a request to install a library, you can do that. You can see the different colors. The red means it's still downloading and installing it. The green means it's already done. It'll be finished here in a second. And we will have the Python libraries fully installed. Okay, so now we've got Python installed. We go through the remainder of the ChatGPT prompt, and we end up having created these folders. And you'll see here it gives us 4 folders that we have. One for input files. So what I've done is I've actually put in those folders, I have put expense reports. So I put copies of receipts from different things and put them in there. These are from parking and from dinners and so on. Some are in dollars, some are in AED. And what it's going to do is it's going to monitor this folder, and when I launch it, it will then process it. We will see the processing happen. It will then send the processed documents to ChatGPT, run the prompt on it, and then finally send me an email. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this. I created Agent Pi. This is the file that it was telling me to create a minute ago, where I used it creating Notepad. I just pasted the text from ChatGPT, saved it as agent.py. Now all I have to do is either run it at the command line, so back at your DOS prompt, you can type agent.py, but I created an icon to make it easier for myself. So I call do my expense report. When I click on it, it opens a window and it runs all the commands, processes the files, and if they work, it processes them and it sends them to process files. If it doesn't work, it goes to fail files. And if I had asked it to produce some kind of a document locally for me, it would have gone to outputs, but I have told it to send it to me by email. So let's go ahead and have a look at how that works. Okay, great. So we've installed our Python libraries, we've saved our agent.py, we created our folder structure. In our folders, we've put some documents to be processed. If you're doing expense reports like me, you can put in some receipts like I did. It's all ready to go. At the command prompt now, we could just type in agent.py. Like I said, I actually created a nice little icon that sits on my desktop. So when I click on this icon, you're going to see the DOS prompt open. You're going to see it process the files, and then tell us what it's doing. It's sending it to ChatGPT, and finally, we'll see it send it to me via email. So let me go ahead and double click this, do my expense report. Command window is open. It takes a second to connect to the file folder, to read the contents of what's in the file folder, and now it's going to tell us real quickly it's processing these 4 or 5 JPEG receipts that we have. There we go. Expense agent started, processing each one, sent, processing each one, sent. Now it says sending the data to GPT 5.1. You can specify in your agent.py file which version of ChatGPT you'd like to use. I chose 5.1. It's sending it, and when it's done now, the window will close. There we go, receive structured expense data. Now it's creating the formatted Excel expense report, and now sending the email with attachments. Now there is another step that I'm not going to show in this video, but in order to send email, I connected to my Gmail account, and Gmail has a thing where you can get a special app-specific password. ChatGPT explains to you how to do that. Just be careful if you're connecting anything to your Gmail account. There's always a security concern. I'm very comfortable with it, so I did it for myself, but do beware. So it says it sent it to me. Let me check my email and see if it's there. And let's check here. And there we go, automated expense report. I'm going to open the email, and sure enough, we have a brief summary of what the expenses are. I asked it to attach the receipts to the emails. Oftentimes with companies, you have to submit your expense report as well as the receipts, but it's done that very nicely, and it's got a nice little formatted expense report for me that summarizes the name, the date, and even here you can see it's converted currency for me from AED to USD. So it's done a great job with that. My expense agent is finished. And now the last step would be I can go back and make a final change of asking it to update the prompt to make the expense report format look more professional, ask it to do other kinds of documents and so on. All right, great. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Um, Basically, ask ChatGPT to help you do this. You could, instead of doing expense reports, you could have it help you do your monthly report. You could have it monitor your recipes. You could have it do all kinds of different things. But the idea of being able to have ChatGPT monitoring a folder on your desktop, ingest those contents at any time, send it to ChatGPT, do something with it, analyze it, reformat it, make a spreadsheet, and then send it back to you as a graphic, as a spreadsheet, or as something else more useful. Really powerful. This is just one simple automated agent, and you should be able to make a lot others like it. Hope you enjoy.